Welcome back to Jackfruit Radio. We're here live on location in San Remijo in the barangay of Lambusan, just south of San Remijo proper. Okay, so welcome back. This is Jackfruit Radio. Maybe the last time I say that. Anyway, we're on the property here, and the guys are just taking their break. So let's talk about build. Build is a couple of things. One, it is about us. So not to confuse what you might want to do with what we're doing. We're building minimalist. Right, so this isn't about 4 bedrooms, 2 stories, columns, all sorts of stuff like that. That's not us. That's not what we're about. If you saw some of our previous videos and various sketches that we've done, then you'll know that we've already done the tiny home thing. Not these really tiny homes like you see in the States and Canada, but more park model. From what I understand of talking to a lot of tiny home followers, anything under 550 square feet is sort of considered a tiny home. Anyway, which are also called park models. So we've done that. We've done 501 square feet, which is just under 50 square meters. And out of that, we kind of realized that we live in it okay, but we needed just a little bit more space. So in this case, we're going to do 60 square meters. That will be kind of ideal for us. It allows us to have an office with an extra large bedroom. We'll have a room for an office in there, and then, or a TV room / office, but there's going to be a sort of a separate room. Okay, but that's us. That's minimalist. Okay. I wanted a big piece of property, so we got 50, unless we were going to buy on the beach. But again, that's anything of quality on the beach that's still left over. It's pretty pricey, in my opinion. I think a lot of the owners of the property, they don't see pesos, they see dollar signs. Right? And unfortunately for a lot of this, these properties go stagnant. They stay on the market forever. And of course, as soon as they see a buyer, then they go out and reassess and say they want even more. We ran into that numerous times. So for us, we got 1,500 square meters. We're happy with that. That's a good sized piece of property. We've got an okay view of the ocean. We don't have usable beach, that's okay, but we are up about 15 feet off the water. So we will not have to worry about storm surges and all of that type of thing that go with it. We're happy with this piece of property because it's got a barangay right beside us. So, you know, we've got sort of buffer from more people, as it were, right? I'm not a city person, so again, part of build. Do you buy a condo? Because that's the simplest way here. If you're not married to a Filipina, you can't own property here. Or sorry, correction. You can't own land here. You can cut a deal, which is how foreigners start businesses, with what they call a dummy. And that person will own the land, and then you have a permanent lease with them until you kick the bucket. But that person will end up owning that land. Okay, so that's the long-term picture for some of these people, and that's just fine. That's fine. That's how it works. So a condo could be there. You may still want to have beach. Condo is kind of a nice way to go if you want beach. And yeah, so I mean that's us. That's the minimalist. That's our thinking on a piece of property here. Now we're going to go a little bit different on the build, in that we're going to use AAC blocks. We will do concrete, obviously, for the septic tank, because dirt is dirt. We'll just keep it all in there. But the AAC blocks are aerated aggregate concrete, and they are solid. They are very, very lightweight. I think it works out to be about 6 of these blocks is equivalent to a 6-inch hollow block. Okay, I think that's the way some of these videos work out when I'm watching them. You use an adhesive rather than using concrete mortar, and so the blocks all stay together. Now, they're really lightweight. You have to be careful with them when you're initially working with them. The corners will chip off. No worse than a concrete hollow block. It's just that when you go to finish, you don't finish the same way. You use a putty to seal the cracks, etc. They do absorb a lot of water, so you do have to seal these puppies. Whoop, I just walked into the heavy shadows. Let me try and rework that. It's getting hot here. I'm kind of moving in and out of the sun. So you do have to seal the AAC blocks. We will still do a pillar system. It's not well received here not to use pillars. They seem to be fixed on them. I suppose if we went to different engineering levels, we could get it done. For instance, if you do an interlocking corner with a standard hollow block, as we would do in North America, or you can do AAC in other countries. You see their videos, and what they do is they core a circle down the middle of the corner. They put in rebar that goes right down through to the foundation, and so each one of those interlocks would have to come down, slide down from the top, and then you just pour a slurry of concrete down the middle, and that becomes your anchor for the corner. Because we're going to use 6-inch AAC blocks for the perimeter of the house, we will make our columns, concrete columns, 6 inches by 12 inches. We're not going up a story, so apparently that's okay. And the engineer that's working on our drawings only, he's looking into right now whether we could do a 6-inch by 10-inch instead of 12-inch, because again, we're not going up. That will keep the columns on the inside of the house for sure out of the space. Nothing worse than trying to slide a dresser up in the corner of a room and there's a column sitting in the middle of your room, often more than one. I don't mind the column sticking to the outside, so again, we will work with the carpenter on that and build accordingly. We are also going to build different than some of the videos I've seen of you guys out in the various smaller islands. We will not put the hollow block up first. We will definitely build the columns first, put the hollow block or the AAC blocks in, and then obviously your purlin at the top or beam at the top has to be concrete again. Okay, and then that fits down close to the AAC block, and then you fill in from the top. What else can we tell you about our build that's different? Oh goodness, we're going to build up the land. We're going to, all of the living space of this land is going to build up, because the crown of the property is actually about midway on the property, which is kind of nice, but it's also not conducive to maximizing your visual perspective of the water. So I'm just going to whip you around here, and that is the house of our neighbor. I've been saying Italian, apparently he's Austrian, and so just from a pan, they're about 30 paces, so 30 meters off of the road. And as we scan down, there's our place, which is almost at the front of the usable part and the end of that concrete wall. That's the usable part of the land. So we want to be fairly close to the front here. And so in our build, we are going to change one thing on this year's go around, and that will be to build that retaining wall on the ocean level. It's going to be a coral, so large coral chunks. Let me walk over there. Okay, so here's a little sample of it. You just stack up the coral, okay, like that, and then you just loosely put concrete around it. Now in our case, we're going to do something a little bit added to this whole thing. We will have to search out gabion cages, which are stainless steel, and then down at the water's edge, which we're permitted to do. We do know this for everywhere. You can put a gabion cage down there. Now, the thing is, you do this. You put these larger pieces of coral, not maybe that big, but you put larger pieces of rock and stuff inside this. Rather than having a solid concrete wall, they just explode, right? Over time, water will take care of solid concrete. But like you see going out to various ferry docks, etc., if you have a way to break up that water, turn it into water and a lot of air, then you no longer have a problem. That's our build process here, guys. We're now in this sort of the stage of getting used to the suppliers, how quick they can get us materials, that type of thing. There's no, like in Canada, every time you order, there's going to be a shipping fee. Here, you order. As long as they keep getting the business, they'll keep bringing it out. Of course, we run down there and get it because I want to get a break off of the property, because I can't help. These guys are doing all their thing. When it gets into the inside of the house and the electrical and that type of thing, communication cables, plumbing, I can get all involved with that, but I've never done a concrete build before, so I know the fundamentals, but I've never actually done the physical work. So there we go. This is Jackfruit Radio signing off.